Hi, this is Colorful Foresight where we intuitively connect from within. And it's woo woo time where we connect our woo woo into our mundane living. So here we have Debra Diana. How are you?
I'm wonderful, feeling super woo-woo right now.
Woo woo! So today's topic is pretty interesting, and I think it's very, very important as we go forward. Bringing mindfulness into higher education. Um, I know they do have it in higher education, but it's still like um, a movement that we want to keep pushing. So I remember you sharing your journey with that years ago and how much you have progressed since. So did anything come to mind that you like to share in regard to this?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing up this important topic, Sylvia. I would say that when I think of higher education, it's like a big cruise ship. It's not a speedboat. Things when things get to it, um, it's slow moving. So when it makes a turn, it's slow moving. But when a topic gets to higher education, it means that it's made mass consciousness level, because our universities are places where we pipeline educated people into the system to work, right? The system meaning into our governments to be, to be citizens who are taxpayers, who are working, but everything is interconnected. So when when mindfulness came to higher ed, I had been doing this work for many years, especially in um, professional development with professional development companies outside of higher ed. But who you are, you bring who you are to your work. You're not somebody different. We are a whole being, no matter what we're doing. And what I think was really powerful when mindfulness started to come onto the scene, probably like about 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was still seen as like it needed research. There wasn't any research, scientific background data behind it. Now there are institutes and centers doing this work. There are now PhDs and master's programs that teach transformational mindfulness or mindful leadership, and it's incredible work being done. It's being done in corporate, in government, in university. So that's what I mean by systems have taken on mindfulness. And again, when it reached higher ed, that's when you know that it's starting to become part of the ethos. So I'm at University of Miami now, and right on the Student Affairs webpage is just very powerful language around mindful leadership and mindfulness. And I thought to myself, when I got here, I've been working at University of Miami for 6 months now. I was very impressed. I felt very happy to see that they had taken this on. I did a lot of work at NYU to support a graduate program that was on transformational leadership, and also hosted several events on mindful leadership. So it's definitely a topic that I feel near and dear to my heart.
Just to to go back a little bit, why was so challenging? Besides, you know, being in a university, it had to do with policy at first, right?
Yeah, and also the way that people um, think and feel, because being mindful just means being in the present moment. It's that simple. But there
Right.
are practices that we can each take into our tools, right? It's like a toolbox of ways that we can stay connected to ourselves. And meditation is one of them. You can take walks, you can journal. It's basically whatever you are doing, you're completely in the moment. So right now we're talking, you and me, right here, being very mindful. Otherwise, and we've all experienced it, we can go into monkey mind, or we can go into our heads and think about the past or the future. It's not the past, it's not the future, it's right here.
And what I like about mindfulness, it does not conflict with people spirituality. Could you just talking about practical physical thing like breathing and things like that, and we're starting to. I just thought the story the other day. Like I'm seeing it more and more how it's being brought into. Uh, I don't know what it's not lower education, but like
Like,
kindergarten and what is that called?
oh,
Elementary,
preschool, elementary school,
right?
middle school.
So that's great. Because then by the time they get to college, they're so well versed in that.
Yes, I would say our generations, like from millennials to Gen Z to Gen, lots of other gens. I don't remember the names, but
Yeah,
what's
Gen
what
X.
is this is part of us expanding our consciousness. So I am a very spiritual being. However, what I've noticed in higher education is based on the what they do, they research, scholarship, all of this type of work. It has to have a scientific reasoning, and it's in now data and science to back it up. That is how higher education was able to I guess implement mindfulness. But mindfulness has permeated into many sectors of our society, and as a higher ed professional, I feel very honored to be able to be a part of that. So for example, at NYU during the pandemic, I had already had a mindful meditation practice. I had been doing it for years on my own, with spiritual mentors. I'd gone to India, went to California but when Zoom started to become popular, because we all know Zoom all the time now, but 3-4 years ago it wasn't that common.
Right.
So flash forward, and just bringing that up to share, just to
That's
share.
that like amazing paradigm shift just within a few years,
Correct.
right?
So it's like a consciousness that's awakening. So, oh yeah, now I know why I said that.
Okay.
Because bringing it to higher ed, during the pandemic, people were scared. They were getting fearful. They didn't know how, they felt disconnected to people. And so I was asked to provide meditation for all of enrollment management. So I used to, on Thursdays, lead Zoom sessions to help people connect. So sometimes we did loving kindness meditations, sometimes we did heart-centered meditations, we did visualization meditations, and I felt really, I felt grateful and honored to be able to serve others just by doing something that felt very natural to me. And the point is that as we grow in consciousness ourselves, then in community, then consciously in the world, this is how we're planting seeds of transformation. So when you brought up, Sylvia, that they're teaching mindfulness in elementary schools, that what's happening is where the roots that are being planted for next generations is that it's a ripple effect. So we're in an amazing time right now in the world, because we are part of the transformation of a new paradigm, of this new paradigm of heart-centered living, mindfulness living, and people being connected as a whole, right? Collective humanity through a place of like engaged community, love, purpose driven, people knowing that they can reach their highest potential, and it doesn't have to look the way that it has in the past.
Right. And you know what I love that you just shared? It wasn't just about the student. You were doing with the faculty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, how much it would be helpful for people who are working in and they have the opportunity to do this mindfulness, whether it's like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then what comes to mind is like then they can create it how they want to do what they want to do with it, in their personal life. Like for me, if I'm a type of person that can't sit still, and at work I learned about mindfulness and meditation, I would be inspired and driving home and find my way to be relaxing. It might be through music or something. So out of that, like basic foundation of meditation or whatever, it's going to create so many different avenues how we could find that mindfulness. Because people are so creative, right? You got like 8 billion people, so many different paradigm shifts.